Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Elevated Beauty Podcast. I'm your host, Emily Fouts. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about avoiding burnout, how to avoid burnout, which really involves strategizing your method of operation. So if you're interested, then keep on listening. So, you can experience burnout in your personal and professional life. And some ways to know that you might be experiencing burnout are by increased levels of stress. You feel drained. You're not able, you don't feel able to cope. You're not able to sleep. You may be sad, angry, irritable, not care. You might be leaning on substances. Um, so, you can also experience fatigue, changes in your appetite. I think most people kind of like know if they're burned out. Um, I think it's a little bit of an overused term, but to me, knowing that you are experiencing too much, you don't feel like you're organized, you don't feel like you're strategizing correctly, you just feel stressed. I'm going to give you guys tips on how I avoid that. And I avoid that by really strategizing my method of operation. Okay. So I actually strategize my day, I strategize my week. And I do that a couple different ways. I've talked in another episode about making time for a creative space. And if you listen to that episode, you may have heard me mention that my husband and I allocate household chores to each other, especially for women. We usually take on the brunt of household chores. And if you are a woman that also has a job, that is a quick way to lead to burnout because you're working in a professional environment. You come home, you have to be mom, wife, and cleaner. Okay. So that was really stressing me out a lot. And it wasn't allowing me time for creative space, which, if you don't have time for self care, which you should be getting every day, if you don't have time for creative space, then that's a formula for burnout. Again, in that episode, I went over the 3 Ps. These are things that just take up time in your day no matter what. This is professional. Professional can be if you have a job, obviously. Even if you don't have a job, professional can still be like time you're spending at home doing like household chores and stuff. So, professional, parent, if you are a parent, your child obviously is going to take up needed and necessary time from you. And the third P is partner. If you are in any type of relationship, if you're married or, dating someone, you obviously have time that you dedicate to them. So the 3 Ps are like non negotiable time within our day. And we also need to create time for creative space and self care. So those are 5 different things that need to take up time in our day. And so, strategizing your method of operation is going to allow you time for all of those 5 things where you feel like your time is evenly distributed. You are avoiding stress. And so, the way that I do that, I'm very lucky. I have a partner that respects me and that works with me. And he is, um, yeah, he just I said, "Hey, this is what we need to do." And he's like, "Okay, I understand it." So I said, "Hey, we have these household chores. They have to be done. It's stressing me out right now because I feel like I'm picking up a lot of it. So why don't you pick things that you want to do, be responsible for? I'll pick things I need to be responsible for." And so we kind of divvied up. Okay, laundry obviously has to be done, dishes, feeding the dogs, um, sweeping and mopping the floors, taking the trash out. So we each allocated different responsibilities and we take care of those different things that we're individually responsible for. So um, that is a way that I'm really able to avoid feeling like I have so much stuff to do and it's never ending and I feel stressed when I come home because I know that I'm not going to be responsible for everything. I can take care of my chores at different periods of time, and so that really frees up some space for me. And yeah, so that has been big for me. Also, the parent part, I have felt in the past that I was really, I would feel guilty for not spending as much time, or like I didn't know how much time she needed from me. And I was very like a martyr. I was like trying to give her so much time, and I was avoiding creative space and some self care as a result of that. And so, something that I feel is great is to give your kid at least 15 minutes per day of your undivided attention. No distractions. It's just, hey, what do you need? We're going to do this activity together. 15 consecutive, uninterrupted minutes. I used to think, oh, I have to spend like an hour at least, playing with my daughter and everything. But, you know, you can spend more than 15 minutes if you want. On some days, I definitely do. But if it's a long work day, I come home and I feel drained, at least I know, okay, I'm going to spend 15 minutes, uninterrupted time with my daughter, doing whatever activity is that she wants to do. And I'm also able to, at the end of the night, spend some time with my partner. If we want to watch a movie together or whatever it is. And I make sure after I put my daughter to bed, I have time to do my self care. So I just kind of strategize my method of operation throughout the day. I know after I put my daughter to bed, that's when I'm going to do my skincare routine. Um, and I'll listen to maybe a podcast or a playlist that I like while I'm doing that. And that's my self care. That's my time just for myself to unwind. And usually after that, my husband and I kind of like to invest in our own hobbies, um, after bedtime. Sometimes we'll use it for that partner time. Sometimes we won't. And for us, we've been married for 10 years, and we do love to spend time with each other, and that it's definitely healthy as a relationship to do that. But we don't need that every single night. So sometimes, maybe one night we'll spend the extra time that we have to indulge in our individual creative spaces, or we will spend time together after that self care, um, filling in that third P partner. And you can also focus on like the weekend, like, okay, if you have a partner Saturday, you get your creative space. It is, some people need more than others. It doesn't have to be every single day. Do whatever you like to do. I definitely do at least intentional creative space 2 days a week. But yeah, that is a way to strategize my day, my method of operation, to make sure that I'm not feeling burnt out, to make sure that I feel I'm getting what I need. And so, one of the best ways to avoid burnout is you have to ask yourself, what do you need? Everything that I explained earlier, that's what I personally need. I need time for my self care daily. I need time for my creative space. I need time to de-stimulate. I need strategy. I need organization, because if I don't have it, I feel like I'm all over the place. I have ADHD. I'm going to be trying to run around, do all these different projects. You just need to ask yourself, what do you need? I need a partner that's going to share household chores with me. I also need, I don't need, but it's so freeing for me, a cleaning service that comes every 2 weeks, because that also just reduces so much stress for me. It doesn't put as much weight on me to make sure that the house is spotless all the time. Just ask yourself, what do you need? So that is how I build my day and my weeks. You strategize it however you want. Something that also really helps me is getting a notebook. If you do have trouble strategizing your day specifically, like individual tasks that need to be done, if you're forgetful, get a notebook. And I've written down, okay, these are 5 tasks that I actually need to complete today. And when you write them down, you can easily refer to them and not get distracted by little things, or start something and then not finish it. So really writing down, and keep it minimal. You don't have to make this big long list and put too much pressure on yourself. Just make a list of 5 things that you want to do that day. And that has been a big, big game changer for me. Strategizing my days, understanding that there is 24 hours in the day. The 3 Ps, parent, partner, professional, are going to take up time in my day. What do I need from the rest of my day? I need creative space. I need self-care. And I don't care if you don't think that you're a creative person. If you haven't listened to the creative space episode, go listen to it. Creative space is something that everybody needs and requires as a human. You might not think it's a creative space of yours, but creative doesn't mean that it has to involve art. It can be investing in a topic of interest. It can be learning a new skill, whatever it is you're interested in that sparks your creativity and interest in your mind. That is your creative space. So for me, I like to create things. And yeah, in my downtime where I can flourish in my creative space, I will create, whether it be art, whether it be educational content, whether it be coming up with an idea, researching for an idea. Just know that you need that to feed your mind, because if your mind is not getting fed in a creative way, that will also lead you to burnout, because when you're just going on the hamster wheel, okay, these are all the things that are necessary of me: parent, partner, professional, tasks that need to be done, all this. You have to fit that creative stuff in there, and you have to create that self-care, or that time for self-care. So I hope that you appreciated this episode. Maybe it gave you a new perspective and strategy for avoiding burnout. We just need organization, guys. Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. You can follow me on social media at Elevated Beauty Aesthetics, or on my esthetician shop, which is Shop Cryptic Skin. That is where I sell esthetician themed apparel that is supernatural in nature and kind of kitschy designs for the modern esthetician. So as always, I will see you guys next Monday at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time for another episode.